Zoom, zoom, like a race car flight, but it ain't a car. It's a super fast tortoise going the speed of light, breaking all the
Even in space, a group of tortoises is called a creep. Welcome to Super Fast Tortoise.
Super fast tortoise in the show, drinking coffee, wishing you all well, because life is swell. Super fast tortoise. Start the morning with coffee in your cup. Time to hang out with friends and chat it up. Bring a smile and good luck. Hit that like button and let's chat it up. Good times start with us, you and me.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, welcome to the morning coffee show. Let's talk from in the shell and share good vibes and good times. Friends and trends have been the senses. Let's get a bit senseless. Welcome to the morning coffee show, where we bring good vibes and good times. Welcome to the morning coffee show with Super Fast Tortoise. Welcome to the morning coffee show, where we have the flow.
Hey, everybody! Welcome to the show with the flow. Everybody, we're about to go because we got the show. I don't know. Words. Rhymes.
Okay.
Woo! Wow. Welcome to the morning coffee show, everybody. Welcome. We got Dyke in chat. That's Hillbilly. He's there. He's there. But anyways, hey, welcome. We got a great topic today. I sent all three of you a copy of today's topic last night. So if you had a chance to read it and stuff, you can tag along and help talk about the simple topic. The title of the topic sounds very, very like intricate, very detailed, like it's going to be crazy, but it's not. It's not. Systematic MTG deck design is a lot easier to explain than what I. Plus, I made up the word, so I can do it. But anyways, first of all, let's introduce everybody. We got MTG Hillbilly. MTG Hillbilly.
Dang, Blaggett.
And we have
Time to rock.
we got the One Ray Man. And of course, you always got to worry and wonder about Tybalt's Apprentice wins flawless victory.
I don't hear that enough. I guess that's because I'm the Walmart professor. We'll talk about that later.
The Walmart professor. But just to remind you, everybody,
You're crazy.
you are watching Super Fast Tortoise. Yeah, Legion of Potatoes. Welcome to the show. Hope you get to chat and chill and hang out. Woo-woo. Good afternoon. As always, yesterday's stream was pretty good. Now we're on today's stream, live, coming at you from the United States. I can say that because everybody here lives somewhere in the United States.
Well, that's the beauty of YouTube and everything else. Like, it doesn't even matter. You can enjoy it out of the States.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
That's right.
Okay, magic everywhere.
That's right. Like when you play on Spell Table, we've played people from across the pond, from Japan. We played people from China. We played people from the Ukraine, from Europe. You know, we've played people from different countries. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
It's awesome.
Yeah. But most of all, I hope you guys have a wonderful morning. Hope you got your coffee or libation of choice next to you to keep you going. That's right. The ball scratching his head. I don't know what.
I'm reaching for my cup, and I'm sharing a piece of art that I created to go with the show.
Oh.
Gotta love AI, man.
That's right. What about this cup? I thought I gave you one of
Oh,
these.
you did, but I broke it.
No.
So I'm super sad. However, I have to show you this. It is never. Oops, let me move it in front of me. It is never far away from me. I keep my important documents and stuff in here.
Wow.
It's on my desk, and I look at it every day.
Yeah, that's cool. I still look at it.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. because a long time ago, my friends, we had
Yes,
a big
it was.
giveaway, giving away mugs to people of the channel, people members of the channel, and people randomly won. They won these non-dishwashable safe mugs.
Good thing I don't have
Yeah.
a dishwasher.
All right, but yeah, that was fun. So, how excited are you guys today? Like when you woke up today, did you just have that good feeling that it was going to be a good day? Because today is Friday, and that means the weekend is around the corner. And I know some of you work on the weekends,
Some of us are very busy on the weekends.
right? Especially for like Rayman, who's not only busy on the weekends, but today is the pre-release, and he's working the pre-release.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Good time.
These guys can tell you that during our pre-show meeting, I was answering questions. I was problem solving to get more people into the pre-release for this evening. So it's going to be, we are over capacity, but we have solved the problem. So we're going to have a heck of
It's
a
a
night.
terrible day. I'm
Good
ginger.
problem to have.
What? Nah, it's not a terrible day because you're ginger. But hey, have a wonderful evening tonight. When you're at the pre-release, drive safe, stay safe. Bring a pack of sleeves with you so you can sleeve your deck. A quick tip: what I do when I go to the pre-release is I have a deck box with sleeves ready to go, and I have pre-sleeved basic lands in there, so I don't have to leave the table when I'm building my deck.
Good idea.
Very good idea. We do have sleeves. So if you are watching this and you're coming to the Mr. B's pre-release, we do have sleeves for everybody to get to sleeve your decks up with. We've got a brand new stock of Dragon Shields, both matte and dual mats.
Nice.
Cool.
If you're not a fan of the dual mats or not a fan of the old school mats, we have a good selection of both.
Okay, here's a question. All right, you going to a pre-release. You don't know what kind of deck you're going to build.
Nope.
Therefore, you don't know what kind of lands you're going to build. How do you decide how many lands to take and how
I
many
would bring
to
10 of
leave?
each.
10 of each.
There's
I would
12
bring 10
of
of
each.
each.
In fact, to answer that question, yeah, Billy, here's my deck box.
Uh-huh.
There's some dice in there, but that's not important. I got my customized channel sleeves.
Sweet.
No, yeah, customized channel
Jealous.
sleeves, right? Then in here, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of each basic land. Now, I'm not going to use all those basic land, but in limited, you don't need too much. You don't need more than 10, really.
Right, because you're building a 40-card deck, and especially with the way the cards are now, you're not playing a monocolor. Like, the odds that you play a monocolor is just so slim. So I would say if you bring 10 of each land, you'll have more than enough of anything that you need, no matter unless you're playing monocolor, in which case you may need to get like 3 or 4 lands from you. Yes, but if you're crazy enough to play monocolor, then have at it, man. I'm on board with the idea, but more than likely you're just going to need like 7 of each land, or maybe 8.
Okay.
You're 2.
I mean, that's just a good question for somebody going to
Absolutely.
their first pre-release.
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
you never know what you're going to build out of the pre-release. So it's good to just have the land set up.
Yep.
It's one less thing to worry about, so you can spend more time thinking about what's the draft going to be.
Wait, what is this? All right. Okay, hold on. Matt Saxon sent me a picture.
Hey, I just summed everything you put out there visually. I just summed it up visually.
That's a pretty good. I should, if I had the money, I'd hire you as my graphics editor. There you go.
I just cheated with AI, so you don't need to hire me. I'll just point you in the direction.
Let's see. Oh, okay. It's made by Chat GTP. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Deck design. Yeah. PNG. I'm gonna upload that. That is a nice graphic. What in the Mohawk? That's freaking epic.
Thank you very much. I do it every day. We
That's
take it down at night, and we put it up every day.
how does I'm afraid to ask. This is a topic for the day. Like how do you do that? I myself never got a chance to do that. lost my hair long before I was able to do.
I use not sponsored. I'm not sponsored by them. I'd like to be. So the fine people at Got to Be Glued, if you would like to sponsor this awesome mohawk, I'm available for sponsor. But I just used a little bit of Got to Be Glued hairspray and the cheapest blow dryer that Walmart had up for a year ago.
Nice. Nice.
You use it to good
And
effect.
it takes me about 8 minutes every morning to put it up.
Nice.
Sounds good. But my friends, it is time to get into this segment of the day.
Card of the day.
All right. Ooh, shared with us by Ray himself. We got Abigail Eloquent First Year. Two white black mana hybrid. Legendary creature bird bard, so it likes to sing. It's a 1/1. It's flying first strike lifelink, and whenever it enters up, target creature loses all abilities, but put a flying counter, first strike counter, and lifelink counter on that creature. This card is nuts.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm currently brewing this, so that's why I submitted it for the card of the day. This card is very, very interesting. As soon as I saw it, I was like, "Oh my goodness!" So I'm building the deck in two ways. It has two things it's trying to do. Well, it has one thing it's trying to do and two effects. It's going to blink this commander. That's what it wants to do. Now, what the effects of that is going to be are twofold. One, I'm going to get rid of really problematic abilities. But two, I'm going to get rid of problematic abilities on my own creatures. So the deck is loaded with creatures that are like a 6/6 flyer for 3 mana, but you also have to like discard your hand at the end of turn.
Right.
Or some other really terrible downfall, like it doesn't untap during your untap step. But it costs 3 mana for a 7/7. So with this, I'm able to take all those really negative abilities away and just have a nice flying first strike life linking 7/7 for 3 mana.
Well, I tried this card on Arena with the Blights mechanic. Does not remove the Blights counters. I mean, if your creatures
it
are
won't
one-
remove. Yeah, it won't
creatures
remove,
are
it
one-one.
doesn't remove the counters from like Shadowmoor, unfortunately.
right. Your creatures are 1/1. I mean, it's a 7/7. Comes in with like 6 Blights counters on it. Use this, you blank that, it still come back as the same creature with the negative counters on it.
Right. Because
Right.
the counters are not the creature. So
Right.
that makes sense. But, like, say, this is Magical Christmas Land. It's kind of late game in Modern. You play Death Shadow. He's like a 7/7, but you cast this, he becomes a 13/13 because he has no abilities.
Right.
Pretty
Ooh,
solid.
nice.
With lifelink and everything, this will turn your game upside down. Abigail has a lot of room to grow, and I think it will see that growth.
Yep.
Yeah, this
Now,
is really
dude-
interesting. And also, I like that they're giving us a hint of, because if you notice, there's a first year in of a lot of different colors.
Mhm.
That's a Strixhaven reference.
Yeah.
Right. Like
It seems like it.
So we've got this one. I think we have 5 of them, because we have the Jason Vraska's kid, which is the Simic one. So I think it's really interesting that we're getting to see these a little bit of a sneak peek into Strixhaven, and that we're getting these students early on.
Nice. It's pretty
Absolutely, what Colin McMasters just said in chat. I'm running 3 of the Ether Drift, just vanilla creatures, because they're all really cheap for big bodies that don't have any abilities. But I'm going to give them flying first strike and lifelink.
Nice. Yep.
Right. There, I was about to mention, like in a green black deck, there's like a 7 mana 10/10. Play this next turn. It's a flying first strike lifelinking 10/10.
Well,
Yeah,
what I got to say about this card is one thing about standard. This card right here in standard, it's going to see a lot of play. Well, it's that good.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Lady Potato says this could be good with those creatures that are like 10/10s with bad ability. True.
Exactly.
I said my comment before I read your comment, so we're on the same page. Potato, I like it.
Yeah.
No matter what they say, you're not a couch potato. All right.
And while I don't think this will be, the next deck tech that I get to do with Tybalt, it might be, but I don't think it will be. I'm sure that Tybalt and I will get around to it eventually for people who are interested in seeing what this turns into. I've got all the cards on order, but it's a busy time for the card places, so things are taking time to get here. I do have an awesome borderless foil of this, though, to sit in the command zone.
Nice.
All right. Now, with that, let's move to the picture of the day. Picture of the day is just a random AI TMT in the street giving you a bat and a bird. Trying to put and play on it. I was trying to get the AI to like make it look like he's trying to hand you the bird, but he's giving you the bird. That's a real.
I love the fact that everybody's on skateboards also.
Right.
Yep.
Skateboards. That's right. That's pretty cool.
And that's definitely not Leo Donnie's skateboard, because that skateboard is way too small for those giant turtle feet. That is some poor kid's skateboard.
That's right. Turtle feet. Yeah. That was probably the bird skateboard. No,
yes, that's right.
Funny. Well, that was fun. It was just a fun random picture of the day. But with that, we're going to move along into the fun part of the day. All right. We're going to get to presented by Discord. We have the question of the day. Question of the day is brought to you by yours truly. But if you guys have a question of the day, picture of the day, or card of the day, you can always join our Discord and you can always share your cards, your pictures, your questions. Let's get to it. Super Fast Tortoise here with the question of the day. The question of the day, my friends, is if you had to play a Magic deck, the one closest to you right now, what Magic deck is that? What Magic deck are you playing? The one that's right there staring you right in the face. Let's go.
What? I mean, the deck got right here the closest to me on my desk. That's kind of a hard question to answer because I got two right here on my desk.
Right. Which one's closer to you, though?
Mothman.
Get the tape measure. Yeah.
Right now, mine is Hearthroll because it's still in the cardboard. Ready to be upgraded whenever Tybalt sends me all his cards.
Ghoul Caller Gisa sitting right here next to me just because I've been testing her out and stuff. I think it's about time for me to join somebody's commander game and maybe use that again. See if I've made any improvements to it lately.
Sounds good.
So I'm obviously not at home, so none of my commander decks are within 4.5 miles from where I sit.
Sacrilege.
But that said, there is a commander deck that is sitting 2 tables away. That is Brandon, one of the eponymous Mr. B's. It's his Tidus deck. So if it has to be the deck that's closest to me, I would be playing a upgraded precon of Tidus from Final Fantasy X.
Legion of Potatoes. We try not to say certain things like that.
Yep.
But all right. Let's go into the show. The topic of the day. Right. Let's get to the topic. Yes. Today's topic: systematic MTG deck building, and I'll pop this up on screen because it looks pretty cool. Like, you literally made this off of my script thing I made?
I added some notes and some other stuff, but very, very close to it.
All right, let's show that. Well, I got to start reading off the notes here. It says, systematic deck design is built on the philosophy that your turns are going to work perfectly. Every turn is going to play out perfect. Untap step, draw a card, play a land, cast a spell, progress your game, and pass a turn. Now, there's combat steps and whatnot in there. But that's simple, as we covered before in the deck memory and percentile pushing topics sections of this course that we've been going on. Assuming we live in a magical Christmas land and everything goes perfect, your game should go and run smoothly. Assuming we followed the advice thus far and tested your decks, you could start connecting the lessons and seeing them applied, running card draw, ramp, and removal. Now, one thing we have not discussed a lot of, and we discussed a bit on it the last game theory video, but in this session we haven't really covered a lot of signpost cards. And this needs to be put into a heavier discussion, signpost card. Now, that's what today is, signpost cards. Signpost cards, signpost cards, signpost cards. What are signpost cards, right? Signpost cards are cards that help you do the things that you want to do in the game based on your commander and themes that you run in your deck. If you're running a landfall deck, a card like ELVISH Reclaimer that casts 1 green mana, it's an elf creature that has pay 2 colorless, tap it, sacrifice a land, search your library for a land card, put it in the battlefield tap, is a signpost card in landfall because it's kind of telling you what to do. It's a signpost card for landfall. You'll know a signpost card because most of the time they telegraph a piece of your game plan. Sometimes a signpost card is blunt, right in your face, like a creature that says when a vampire dies, each opponent loses 1 life. That's for sure tells you two things. One, your opponent is playing vampires, and if you see it on their side of the table board, and 2, they want you to kill their creatures. And I'll add a third option here. They have ways to kill their own creatures, So signpost cards kind of telegraph what you're doing, but they kind of telegraph you or tell you what to do. Now, there are many ways to systematically design your deck with signpost cards. It is all part of running and installing your themes in the deck and your designs. Not every card in your deck will be a signpost card, but every other card should push for your deck's themes and win conditions. Now, you have to ask yourself, is or are your win conditions a slow burn that takes time, or is it on the spot, win at once? Your signpost cards may not telegraph the win conditions well, but all the time they should lead you there. But each progressive turn you take based on your cards in your hand and on your battlefield, you most of all should see how your deck will telegraph your gameplay and win cards. Now, here's where we can get off script and I can stop reading so I don't sound like a robot. A few things to ask yourself when looking for signpost cards. 1, is it immediate themed game action? When you cast it, enter the battlefield, or when on cast, does it give you something? Is that good for your deck? Is it doing what it wants to do that way? Does it have an activated cost or themed game action? So, like if you have to pay to activate it, does it follow your actions, your themes, your win conditions? Is it an instant or sorcery that does something on the deck's theme? Like, is it an instant sorcery that just pushes your theme even further? Is it like an ability that acts kind of like your win con or pushes towards your win con? And does it give you a bonus for playing a permanent spell type or a creature type? So, meaning like, do you have a signpost card that says if I play a vampire, I get to put a +1 counter on other vampires? That's kind of the thing. Like if you play a dinosaur, do you get to draw a card? If you play a merfolk, do you get to do A or B? Is it something that rewards you for playing your theme, your archetype, your game plan? And the last question is, does it push you closer to your win condition? Does it help build your board state? Does it progress you? Right? If you can answer yes to any of these, that's a signpost card. Now, also, this shouldn't be referential. It shouldn't have to be referential because we talked about this before. If you find a spell like these, like a signpost card that draws you cards, ramps you mana, or is removal, it is worth looking into. All right. So, not all signpost cards do the same thing, right? They don't. Like if they all did the same thing, someone could play a deck that's all the same thing. But signpost cards do different things, different ways towards your theme, your decks, your win conditions. And part of it being having signpost cards is finding different signpost cards that kind of work together like a mechanical machine. Yeah. And what you're trying to build is like these little systems that work, these little factories or rigs that kind of flow together. assuming they're not disrupted. But yeah. And that brings up to this card machine right here: synergy in action, trigger combo, chain reaction, engine online. You know, I just really love that graphic. I don't. But anyways, I'm gonna open up the floor to you guys because I just took up a lot of space. Who's itching to say something about what we're talking about?
I'll jump in there if nobody else will.
All right.
Start us off the ball.
My specialty is tearing things up, and not in a bad way. Don't mean to no disrespect or nothing of that nature. But the first thing that I do when I look at this is I think, oh man, I don't want to telegraph what I'm doing though, or I want to mislead with what I'm doing. But I absolutely agree, and I think that the first thing to address is this doesn't have to be overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
And if you make incremental changes to your deck, it's important to do that. And I think your deck will run smoothly, and in the end, it will wind up a nice, smooth machine. But the first thing that I'm thinking of is when you put that card down, what are you telegraphing, first of all? And then secondly, what is somebody's response going to be to that card, and what's my response going to be? Mm-hmm. So when I put a card down, am I playing cards too early that, like I said, are going to telegraph my winning play, or is it going to draw fire?
Mm-hmm. Well, so to kind of answer that in a bit, or in a small smidgen, no matter what you're going to do, the cards in your deck are going to kind of telegraph what you're doing. You can, like, based on what's in your hand, you can play backwards. You know, you can play one thing that's kind of dumb, like by itself, but when with another card's powerful, you can play that card first if it's in your hand. You know, the way you play the game is different than what's in your deck. Your deck is built to be synergistic. Unless you're building for chaos, then that's a different story, right? But but when you're building decks, you're trying to build like these themes, these things that push you quick and push you quicker into your win conditions in general. Because like the more powerful you get, the more deck synergy and theme synergy you get together, the more powerful you're going to play really quick. And this, like in this lesson, because I'm new to this little game theory deck building process, I'm new to it, and I'm learning stuff as I'm going, as I'm typing in things like one thing I learned is budget, right? You think that this class will help you build better budget decks, which it will. This game theory thing will help you build better budget decks, but the thing is, this class is for everybody because it does not include budget in the learning process, you know, because as really quick, as I'm working on this Hearthroll deck, some of the cards I'm looking at are not budget, but there are themes that are good.
I think really quick, if I could just piggyback on that, I'm going to say that breaking things down and looking at this way will help you determine where to spend your budget.
Yes.
If you think about these cards and stuff, maybe it's going to be worth it to get a $10 card if this is going to make my deck exponentially better.
Right.
So that's something else. By getting this framework, this system of building cards or building decks, you're going to find in the end that you're able to budget your money better, or budget the cards or your rares or your slots better that way.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Do you have something to say, Rayman?
Yeah. I think that the stuff that we're going over will definitely help people build better decks. But building a deck on a budget is its own kind of thing. Excuse me one second. Building a deck on a budget is a very different kind of skill set.
Right.
Because you have to have far more knowledge about what's available, what cards are basically this card but not that card.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're trying to build a deck on a budget, I don't know how closely I would stick to this method. That said, if you're just trying to build a better deck, I absolutely think this method does work. But if you're on a budget, you're gonna hit a point where you're just like, okay, I've exhausted every single possible thing that I could do on a budget, right? And that doesn't. And some people's budget decks are $15. Other people's a budget deck to them is $100. So what constitutes a budget deck is its own thing. But that's about budget. Let's talk about signpost cards.
Right. Well, really quick, really quick. This topic doesn't really include Voltron decks, so I got to put that primer out there. Voltron decks are a different kind of build. They can follow the same kind of premise, but they follow a different premise of their own. So if you're looking at Voltron, there's a different building style to those decks.
Yep.
I actually don't think there is.
I've
built a few. I have Noctis currently built, which is Esper. It's Esper Voltron. I don't think it is, because there's definitely signpost cards in the deck. There's definitely things that are enabling my game plan. Exactly the kind of stuff we're talking about. So I don't think that Voltron. I think Voltron decks are built like any other deck. You're just going to be building with less creatures than you normally would. You're going to have instead of having, say 35 creatures, you're probably going to have so a lot of decks are 35 creatures, 10 to 12 artifacts. I think in a Voltron deck, you're swapping that number, where you're going to have like 35 artifacts because you've got your mana rocks. Then you also have all of these things that enables your Voltron, or enchantments if you're going an enchantment Voltron route. And then 12 to 13 creatures.
Let's confuse the issue then and throw living weapons in there. Don't forget that those exist.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nerd alert! Nerd alert!
The pest that gives you extra power based on your artifacts, and then I think it's called Dara Complete. It's the one that has like a whole bunch of keywords, and it comes in as a germ. But those are technically artifacts that aren't exactly creatures.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Just as a quick reminder.
You're crazy.
You are watching Super Fast Tortoise.
Trying to get used to these buttons. I like it.
What? Oh my God.
But so for signpost cards, I think you want to look and see. You want to have at least a few cards that are absolutely, the best thing that you can get on your budget. If there is a budget version, some things just aren't, right? There's no budget version of burgeoning, unfortunately. But burgeoning, I think, is like the ultimate signpost card for a landfall deck.
Right.
For those who don't know, burgeoning is 1 green, and it says whenever an opponent plays a land, you may play a land from your hand. So you are playing a lands deck. You are going to be running more lands than a standard deck will, because for you, they do all kinds of extra stuff. So the odds that you have extra lands in your hand to play on your opponent's turn are very high. And it gives you extra land drops without the extra land drop on your turn.
Right. And I think it's fair to say that for a lot of cards, there are budget versions of the cards out there. Sometimes this costs more mana. Maybe there's an extra step. Those are ways to look into, like budgeting. But we're not. But in signpost cards, the only thing you're really trying to do is like putting together a puzzle and trying to complete a picture. But the difference is everything pushes together. If you do it right, everything should work as a little machine that works together. Like when you do A, B will trigger. When you do B, maybe C will trigger. And that's kind of the combining effect you want with synergy in your deck. So that's what you're trying to get together. And that's one of the things you want to kind of hone on, is working on synergies. Black, unban fast bond. I think it's about time we can unban fast bonding in Commander. If it's not.
No way. There's no way. There's no way. If you want to see now, okay. Let me preface this. If you want to see a lands deck be playable in CEDH, unban fast bond.
Right.
No one who plays casual Commander, who does not dabble in tournament Commander, wants to see fast bond in it.
Well, I was watching a video. I was watching a video of one of our buds that we like to watch. The two guys who talk to each other. I can't remember their
Distraction makers.
Yeah, the procrastinators, and they're talking about we're probably at a point where fast bonds unbannable. We can unban it, and that's because they're looking at the power level cards. But then they started talking about the blue green bird that was broke.
Nadu.
Yeah. So I don't know. Fast bond.
Nadu's problem was that it itself, the card itself, was not overly powerful. It was a very good card, but it wasn't overly powerful. But there were so many ways to enable it to just take such long turns. And they weren't even deterministic turns, right? You could take a 35-minute turn and then go, oh, well, I guess I can't win the game. Pass.
Yes. Right.
And that's a feels bad. Like, if somebody's going to sit there for 30 minutes on a turn, you better kill me.
Well, also, it made Voltron decks weird. It let him go wide and tall because every time you target a creature, you got to trigger that draw. It's crazy. And yes, thinking about signpost cards, there are signpost cards out there that let you draw cards for playing your theme. That's powerful. Like, here's a good signpost card. If you're looking to try to understand signpost cards, last night Rayman was playing a neg1 counters deck. It cared about neg1, right? And he had a pseudo removal spell in his deck, which I say pseudo because it doesn't guarantee a creature kill. He played the name was just in my head. 4 mana, like 2/2 or 3/3 creature that when it enters the battlefield puts 3 neg1 counters on a creature.
Oh, the skin render.
Skin render, yes. Skin render. Outside of the neg1 counters deck, it's just a pseudo removal spell. In his neg1 deck, it's a signpost card because it has removal on it. It does neg1s, and he's trying to get neg1s on creatures. Now, his deck kind of reminded me of like Graft back in the day, but Graft is different. Graft work with +1 counters. But this deck was like neg1 Graft, and you got to move counters around, do some fun stuff. So when you're building your deck and archetype themes, you're trying to find ways to manipulate and play things that your signpost cards will allow you to do to get your win cons and stuff. Yep, skin render, Blug. Blug says, yeah, I think twiddling contributed a lot to the bird going away. Yeah, a lot of people are playing the cheap spells just to get those draws and cantrips.
Yep.
But yeah,
another way of thinking about signpost cards is they are part of a small engine, maybe that gets your deck moving faster and builds you ramp in the sense of not just land ramp, but builds you and ramps you towards that next threshold, plateau, win condition, whatever it might be.
Mm-hmm. Right. And there's a lot of things we've discussed, land ramp, draw, and whatnot. That was one of the first things to discuss because that's like one of the most important things. As a player who's like newer to the game, trying to build the game, trying to build the deck and stuff, you have to separate in your mind what is deck synergy, what is archetype synergy. You know, what am I building for? What is deck synergy good for? Deck synergy is about manipulating the deck, getting the deck to do the things it wants. Archetype synergy is about doing the things your archetype wants. And the best kind of decks, in my opinion, is decks that meddle in both. What if your win conditions or your archetype works with your deck synergy? So everything you do,
You should absolutely be building for both of these things. You should not be trying to separate them. You want there to be one goal. You want one thing that your deck does. And if you want to look at a perfect example of this and why you probably don't want to make them two separate things, look at a lot of precons that we have today. If you look at the precon I played last night, 70% of the deck was -1 counters, right? Mm-hmm. That's what the commander wanted to do. That's what the cards wanted to do.
Oh, yeah.
But then this other 30% did stuff that Tort will say he never saw me do. And it was this weird discard sub-theme where there was a bunch of lands that had cycling, and then a couple of cards in the entire deck. Like I think maybe 2 cards in the deck that actually had some weird payoff to the discard, right? Mm-hmm. I never played a single one of those. They did not advance my game plan. Mm. They did not do what I needed them to do without very, very specific situations.
Right.
So when I took that precon and built my own version of the deck using it as the base, those were the first things that came out.
I think
because those things just not bleed into the deck of it, what it needs to be.
I think that's a good example of Wizards of the Coast putting that in there to arguably, or we won't say Wizards of the Coast, we'll say the design team. We'll give them the credit for it. And I think they put those things in there as a way of exploring other synergies or introducing, arguably, if a pre-con is for a new player, it's maybe a way of introducing other things into the deck and giving you a window to improve. You can either say, hey, I kind of like to explore this other thing that I'm doing and maybe get your mind thinking that direction. Or you say, as in your case, auto eject, just throw those out and put in something more.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Like when I upgraded Hearthful, I know I'm taking out this basic land in this deck because Wizards is pretty cheeky. Like, literally, they put a wasteland, not like wasteland, but just a waste basic land in the deck. And I believe they put it in there because when I was playtesting the deck, I'm like, this is land that does nothing really for me. So maybe they want me to play around, sacrifice it, use it as like a little goat thing and help me get comfortable with it. But when I upgrade the deck,
or you keep it in the deck because when you inevitably put your Field of the Dead in there, it is a basic land that you can go fetch for, and it's a differently named basic land, so it triggers your Field of the Dead.
Field of the Dead.
Just say it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Field of the Dead enters the battlefield tapped, and if you when it or another land enters, if you have 7 or more lands, make a 2/2 zombie.
Hold on a second. You're speaking words to me. They sound they sound expensive.
I mean, so Field of the Dead is a game changer, right? So it is a little on the expensive side. But you're playing a lands deck, so like if you're going to upgrade it to its logical endpoint, Field of the Dead is a great card for the deck. You're going to be playing a bunch of lands and waste. I have a waste I don't have it together anymore. In my Hearthful deck, I kept my waste because it was a basic land that I could go search for under a thing that says, hey, go search for a basic land. And it's the only waste in the deck, so I have no other lands that share its name, so it triggers my Field of the Dead.
It is a $40-something card. 40.
Okay, it's gone up since I bought mine. 4 months ago.
Well, that's a good example of being, you know what I mean? Is it worth $40 to exponentially increase the value of the deck? Maybe not in the specific deck that you're talking about, Tortoise, but if somebody's trying to apply your system to it or apply this system to it, you're going to be able to look at that and say, is this going to be a big enough impact? Does it tick these other boxes? Does it make that big of a difference for me to be willing to do that? I can't imagine it, but it
can win you games. Like if you have a bunch of lands in your graveyard and then you cast like Splendid Reclamation, all those come in and you're like, oh, hey, look at all of these new lands that enter that don't share a name with all these other lands that I control. I'm going to put 1/2 zombies into play. If you don't board wipe, I'm going to kill you next turn.
Right. So my future goal, it's going to take me a bit. My future goal is to possibly transform this Jund deck into a 5-color deck. Because you know what's in one of those 5 colors? Armageddon.
So Tortoise wanting to play a 5-color land bracket 4 deck.
And then put Armageddon in. I love it. I love the chaos.
Then it'll be a bracket 5.
Well, it'll be bracket 4 certainly.
Yeah.
Blake, how much synergy are you willing to compromise to include your colors, your staples? Well, Blake, if I turn out a 5-color deck in old Kamigawa, there's a lot of blue cards that return lands to your hands for abilities.
Yep.
I personally, I like if you want to talk about staple cards, right? Like example, Rhystic Study. Rhystic Study is probably the blue staple card for Commander. While I own 10 of them, I think of my 12 decks I currently have put together, half of them have blue in it, and I think one has heuristic study in it.
Why is it you choose not to use that? If I could interject that.
So part of it is I just don't want to give up a slot for something. Like, I don't want to give up that slot, right? Not all of my decks have 3 game changers in them. Some do, some don't. But for the decks that do, I look at it and I go, okay, well, I could run Rhystic Study. Very good card, without a doubt. I'd probably rather run Cyclonic Rift, or I'd rather run Fierce Guardianship.
Okay.
There are just things that I would rather run instead of.
Okay,
now,
I wondered
if
because
Game Changers weren't a thing, I'd throw it in the deck, right?
Sure.
Why not?
Okay. Because I was just wondering if that would be something that would draw fire. If you put that down, does that draw the ire or the feel bads of the rest of the table or whatever? I'm just wondering if that's a signpost card that says, I want to win and I want to get cards, or just wondered how people interact with that.
So I want to say this, and I don't mean this to be ego. It's just how it is. For me, when I sit down at the table, I'm drawing everybody's fire anyways locally. That's just how it is. I've come to accept this. Again, it's not trying to be ego. I wish it wasn't that way. And I love when people bring like really nasty commanders to the table, because I go, you can be the target for a game. I don't have to be the person that has to be watching their back from the moment the first land drops. You can be the person that draws some fire for this game. Thank you very much.
I love it. There doesn't have to be ego connected to that. I feel like people like to kill me just because they like to kill me. And it's not because I'm particularly good or I have particularly strong decks. It's just like, oh, let's get him. He's Devil's Apprentice. Let's kill him. What'd I do?
We've had on stream, like we've done 4 stream games now. And in almost every one of those, somebody will be talking about something and they'll be like, oh, hey, I used this to kill Ray. Killing me is some weird badge of honor that everybody was
That's right.
Holds over my head. Like, remember that time I killed you with this? And I'm like, yeah, I do, man. It was awesome. Good job.
That's right.
Sorry.
Being the old man in the old head draws a lot of attention at a table when you're there all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how my family.
Playing Rhystic Study doesn't like. I don't worry about playing a Rhystic Study because it's drawing attention. I'm not drawing any more attention to myself, regardless of what card hits the table.
That's how my family treats me when they ever play Magic. If they defeat me, they feel like they're the best.
I'm like, guys, I'm not even the 100 greatest Magic player that I've met in my lifetime, right? Like, good job, you beat me. Awesome, that's great. That's super cool.
Yeah, you have to wear that as a badge, or at least in my case, I have to wear that as a badge of honor. Otherwise, I wouldn't have any. So that's it.
True.
No, that's funny. But hey, well, like when you're a good enough player, when you like when people start to know you and start to know your deck styles, beating you is a badge of honor. You know, like when you're good, like for example. We're teaching people about game theory, systematic deck design, stuff like that. You know, people just expect us to be like the world-class best players because we must be that good to be teaching people how to build decks. No, it's like they're going to take it as a badge of honor to beat me because I'm like being a professor of some sort, trying to teach people how to do Magic. And this will remind people when this series is done, we'll put the PDFs in Discord for you to download. All right.
Yeah. And I think the reality is we want, arguably in my case or whatever, I want the other person to be better than me anyhow. You know what I mean? That's where I feel like we've accomplished something or whatever. If we've helped somebody else open their eyes to other possibilities or other things that they could be playing, and if they pick that up and run with it and go even further, good for everybody.
Look. No, I honestly wouldn't want to win every game I played because there would be no learning. If I didn't lose, how am I supposed to know what cards are bad in this deck if I don't lose with them? You know,
In fairness, there's not many. That deck is very well built. That was
Right.
probably the best precon they've built, maybe ever. So there's not many bad ones.
There's a couple bad cards in there.
couple,
Cards I
yes,
would
there are a
personally
couple.
take.
Well,
Okay.
so I was going to say really quick, just interestingly enough, not necessarily bad cards, but maybe bad for you, whoever is piloting it, because I think that's often what comes up. You could probably name a dozen cards and say that they should go in my decks, but for me piloting it, it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel natural. It doesn't work for me. But also, that's the beauty of listening to shows like this and talking to other people, because you get exposed to new cards that maybe you hadn't thought of, or maybe you're exposed to new ways of thinking about cards that you hadn't. That's why I love doing deck techs. I've been able to do them, all of you guys. I love doing those with people, mostly just because I want to learn and see what else is out there. I want to see what cards I haven't seen yet. Like, I've been playing for 30 years, but like, I still don't know all the cards, and certainly not some of the newer ones, or how they interact with each other.
Well, the interesting thing about this Hearthhold deck is I've learned so far that the basic lands in there are important. Like most decks, you try to like average out with non-basic stuff, but the basic lands in this deck are actually important for your play, which is crazy. I mean, I do got a couple non-basics to put in the deck, but I'm going to take out non-basics for them, because the one lands I don't like are those little filter lands where you have to pay one to get mana out of it.
Yeah.
I hate those lands.
You know, but that's just a personal preference there,
Yep.
But my friends, it is that time of day where
Apprentice wins. Flawless victory.
Never happens.
Hit that subscribe button. Become a part of the creep.
Too much to take. So it's lit. MTG3, are you game? Rise, creep, rise, building a following as we gain. Spitting fire like a dragon, no one can bring us down. MTG3 in the house, we own this town. Ripping through the beats with a fury.
Hey, that's right, everybody. We're at the end scene where we shill for the thrill. We gotta find out where everybody's coming from. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's right. Let's get excited, because here we got. Man, that's right. That's right. 3 hands up in the air, waving around like you just don't care, because this is the time where it's about gonna.
Hey. Well, thank you for having me. You've got so many good topics on here lately that I have not been able to join. I'm glad that I was able to join you this time. For me to shill, I would say go to darkritual.site. That is where you can find everything Mad Saxon, Tibble's Apprentice. You can find my blog, where I talk about the fact there are no bad magic cards, and there's no magic bullet to this. Also, there's discussions that got me thinking along that line. But you got to engage with the things that work best for you. But read the blog. Anyhow, thanks for having me, and go to darkritual.site.
Yeah, the link is in the description too. Everybody's links are in the description and in the chat and stuff. And Rayman, it's your turn to go.
All right, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Thanks for everybody who watched. Tor, I will say the most disappointed I've ever been in you is that you have this great Mortal Kombat reference with the Tybalt, and you don't use the damn gong that you ding all the time. I'm so disappointed. I'm disappointed. Okay, I'm not upset. I'm disappointed. That's way worse.
Well, the thing is, I don't have a copy of that gong. Like, that's on here. I can't download it because
I got to find you a copy of the gong because
right.
There we go. Test your might.
All right, so I am here once again live at Mr. B's Game Lounge. This is where I stream from whenever we do this morning show, and the last couple of nights that I've done Commander games, I've been streaming in various rooms around the shop. We do have the Lorwyn pre-release tonight, which is going to be super awesome. We've got a ton of singles that we opened up live on stream. We've got tons of booster packs. We've got some of the new 60-card starter decks, which are pretty interesting. If you're interested in getting into standard play, I think they're a pretty good jumping off point. You can check us out on TCG Player, Mr. B's Game Lounge, and all that fun stuff. But, man, it's going to be a busy weekend. all the Magic stuff tonight, karaoke tomorrow night. And I'm sure the Beyblade guys will be here on Sunday. So busy weekend as always at Mr. B's, where we always got something going on.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Check out his link in the chat and the description. That's right. All below. I'm thinking of below. Someone who's feeling a little under the weather. No, I'm kidding. He's not feeling under the weather. We got Hillbilly.
Hey, everybody. Today around 2 o'clock, I'll be doing an arena stream. I can't wait for these Lorwyn cards to come out. Some awesome cards in Lorwyn. But anyway, we still got to wait till the 20th for that on arena. But so on the 20th, I'll start making new decks. But anyway, we'll be doing an arena stream around 2 o'clock this afternoon. And as far as I know of, that's all I got planned. I'm trying to join Tortoise's Commander game tonight if my arm's not hurting. But that's all I got planned.
MTG Hillbilly.
Dag blaggit.
Oh, yeah.
All right, everybody. Super Fast Tortoise. We're going to try to do a Commander game tonight. I don't know what bracket yet. Well, I'll probably do bracket two with this deck or something. You know, get some people and play some flavor decks. I'm trying to get the most value out of this deck before I'll change it up and start looking for cards. Trying to learn it, try to win with it, trying to have fun with it. Even though I won the other night, barely. But
I had 4 health last night. I don't hear barely.
Barely.
Wow.
Well, remember, I was at like 2 life. You had a full board, through a board with more creatures, and all of a sudden, one turn, I swarmed the board with a hasty engine and swung at it. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
What that deck does, baby.
But anyways, I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you all for chilling with us. Thank you, Hillbilly, Rayman, Matt Saxon. You guys all rock. You guys all rule. I want to remind you that you're loved, that someone's thinking about you, and if you can't say and or do something positive for someone else today, because you might be the change someone needs today. And with that, I want to thank you, channel members and subscribers, for growing and supporting the channel the way you do, and have a wonderful, wonderful night. Let's get out of here. I want to thank you, channel members of the channel, for supporting this creep the way you do. You are awesome. And you subscribers, everybody that subscribes, you're doing amazing too. Thank you very much for all that you do.
Start the morning with coffee in your cup. Time to hang out with friends and chat it up. Bring a smile and good luck. Hit that like button and let's chat it up. Good times start with us, you and me. Good morning, welcome to the morning coffee show. Let's